Okay, so welcome to .8, which is Interfaith Dialogue. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. So as always, I'll define any syllabus terms and key terms that we might not be familiar with before moving into content as we go. So this .8, evaluate the importance of interfaith dialogue in multi-faith Australia. So the key syllabus term is evaluate. Now this is a higher order question, which means you have to make a judgment based on some criteria to determine the value of something. So we're looking at saying interfaith dialogue is extremely important, fundamentally important in Australian society. So you want to use that throughout, not just in your opening or closing, but throughout your response. Key terms, so interfaith dialogue, as the name suggests, interfaiths, it's faiths, different faiths working together, coming together in conversations, in dialogue. So they're cooperative, they're constructive, they're positive interactions between people of different religious traditions. Okay, so it's aiming towards developing a greater mutual understanding and a better appreciation really for the uniqueness of each other. So a summary of what I'm saying. Multi-faith, so pretty self-explanatory, many faiths. Australia, whilst it is a secular society, it is multi-faith. So we've got Christians, we've got Jews, we've got Muslims, we've got Buddhists, Hindus, okay? This goes on. Importance. How significant is interfaith dialogue in a country like Australia? Obviously, it's very important that we all get on if we're all living together. Okay, so I guess in a nutshell, what the question's asking you to do is make a judgment, so evaluate how significant or important interfaith dialogue is in multi-faith country like Australia. Very important. Okay, so the content of this, I'm going to break it up into three parts. First of all, a reason why it's important, an example of an initiative, and then restate its importance. So I suggest you do that three-step plan as well. That way, you're covering your base and you are answering the syllabus point. Now, of course, if they give you a stimulus, you'll have to integrate that as well into the importance section. Okay, so the first reason why it is so important is it fosters respect and appreciation for religious diversity. So an example of an initiative really came about after some recent events in history, such as the 9/11 terrorist attacks, but more recently the Lint Cafe siege in 2014, which really stirred up a lot of animosity amongst Christians and Muslims. However, this tension was eased through various educational discussions by the Columban Centre for Christian-Muslim Relations, so CCCMR. So this was known as the Bridges Program, and it aimed to build bridges over differences and thus positively impacted the lives of everyday Australians. So the reason why something like this is so important is that it's made a significant contribution to multi-faith Australia, because it's really emphasised how essential it is that we all work for this harmony, this peace, to live in a positive community that we all share. Okay. Also, an example of the Bridges program is where Bishop Vincent only last year, less than 6 months ago, visited the Parramatta Mosque. And again, he wanted to establish some positive ties with the Muslim community. So active examples there have shown just how important it is. Okay, so the next reason is that it allows adherents to speak out on common issues and uphold their shared values. Okay, so one example is the Australian Religious Response to Climate Change, the ARRCC. So which it's a multi-faith network, and they're committed to action on climate change. Okay, so we all live in the same world, and yet we have these members from different faiths working together on this common cause. Okay, so they are promoting their shared values, such as the dignity of humans, the sanctity of human life, justice, peace for current generations, but also future generations. So this is important, extremely important, because it allows adherents to stand together in proclaiming the importance of their faith and God's creation, which we all share in. So the third one is that it educates current and future generations about their shared history and similarities to promote understanding and fellowship. So there's an initiative by the Jewish Christian Muslim Association of Australia, okay, so the JCMA, and they promote the prevention of emotional, physical abuse or harassment that might arise from intolerance and cultural discrimination. So they have a series of workshops in schools, and they've been running since 2003, and that's called diversity education. Okay, so that's something that they work towards, and as you can see, it's very important because they're tackling it at a younger generation's level, where we're a bit more open to seeing the similarities rather than harbouring resentment from previous generations. And it reduces racism, intolerance, bigotry, violence, and any other associated emotional harm, because they're creating dialogue and shared experience. So there's 3 points. That's all you're going to need. It's only a 5 marker. So now it comes to writing. So like point 7, we can look at the 2011 example. We're explaining the role of ecumenical movement and or interfaith dialogue. So we're going to look at interfaith dialogue as a religious response to growing secularism. So this is a tricky one, but you can certainly give that a go. No stimulus at all. So it's up to you if you want to do that one, or just write a plain one straight from the syllabus. So I'll say good luck to you then.